Strengthening Producer Voices for a Fair Transition. Anchoring this session is Mr. Jorge Cornesa, Managing Director, Fairtrade Advocacy Office. Mr. Cornesa is the Managing Director of Fairtrade Advocacy Office, leading global efforts to promote fairer European Union trade policies on behalf of the fair trade movement. He has experience in international trade gained while working as a trade officer at the Spanish consulate in Canton, China, where he supported Spanish exporting SMEs. We are joined by a distinguished panel of speakers who bring rich perspectives from across the fair trade system. I now welcome Ms. Claudia Brueck, Managing Director, Communication and Politics, Fairtrade Germany on stage. Mr. Claudia joined the organization in 1999 after a career in journalism and international work. Since becoming executive board member in 2016, she has driven impactful campaigns and global collaborations. Today, she leads strategic communication, policy positioning, and partnerships with civil society. Welcome, ma'am. Now I welcome Mr. Raghavendra Shashtry, NAPP board representative. Mr. Shashtry is a seasoned coffee and spice producer, exporter, and director of the Fairtrade Producer Organization, Male Nadu Savayava Krishi Parivar. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation. Based in the Western Ghats of southern India. With over 20 years of experience, Mr. Shashtry has been instrumental in promoting farmer producer organization, focusing on skill development, sustainable coffee and spice production, also processing, organic and fair trade certification and value addition. Welcome, sir. Now I request Ms. Anjali Mittal to come on stage. She is Pratibha-Vasudha Jaivik Krishi Kalyan Samiti. Ms. Anjali is dedicated to building a self-reliant farming ecosystem by empowering women and fostering local resource creation. She has also initiated large-scale plantation drives through nurseries and actively led community programs, which includes health camps, awareness initiatives on child labor, gender equality campaigns. Welcome, ma'am. Now I request Mr. Sikander Singh to come on stage. He is Youth Representative, Nature Biofoods Limited, Jammu Kisan, Pari Yojana. Mr. Singh has been actively contributing to the agricultural and fair trade sector, working for 3 years with Jata, the Kote Farmer Producer Company Limited, and Nature Biofoods at Village Matto in Jammu. Currently, he serves as CEO of Jata, the Kote Farmer Producer Company Limited, where he leads initiatives to strengthen farmer livelihoods. Welcome, sir. Now I request Mr. Prasanna Kumar to come on stage. He is Director, Prasanna Ganapathi Farmers Foundation. Mr. Prasanna Kumar has contributed significantly to the leadership and capacity building as a faculty member of JCI events, including the Presidential Academy, Speechcraft, Chairman and Parliamentarian workshops, Zone Trainers Workshop, and Officers Training Workshops. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Welcome all the speakers. With that, let us welcome Mr. Cornesa to lead this important session.
Some months ago, I was in Brussels, and I met someone who used to be a member of the European Parliament and is now retired. So I took the occasion to ask her, now that she could speak openly, about her experience. She was an extremely devoted advocate for fair trade. She was basically our #1 ally in the Parliament. But it had not always been like that. I know her for many, many years. She has always been like-minded, but not with this level of devotion. So I asked her, how is it that she got such a commitment to a fair trade movement, if she could identify 1 or 2 milestones. She mentioned that there was one event that she really remembers, in which there was the typical Brussels crowd. There were environmental NGOs, human rights NGOs, businesses, researchers, and we had also invited some farmers from Ghana. And the moment that really turned the tide for her was when they took the floor. They explained from their experience on their ground, from the knowledge from the ground that they had, what were going to be the impacts of some EU policies in their livelihoods. And that's where she understood the value that these voices from the ground could have to her work, to her policymaking. For me, that was very interesting because before working in the Fairtrade movement, I have also been working in the parliament. I used to work as an advisor to a member of the parliament. And I still remember one time in which she was invited to Sri Lanka by producers working in the garment sector, by trade unionists, to see on the field what was the situation. Well, I have never seen her as obsessed with a topic as when she came back from that trip. Basically, she only had time for those files, only had words to talk about that. I had really never seen her so motivated. This makes me conclude that the voices of producers can make a huge difference. And I'm talking about my experience in policymaking, but I'm convinced that it's the exact same thing when it comes to motivating businesses, to motivating consumers, etc. Now, do I say that the president of the commission is there just waiting to hear from farmers and do exactly as is better for farmers? No, we cannot be delusional, we cannot be naive. It's not as easy as that. But what I do know is that the strength of Fairtrade relies on the strength of farmer voices. That Fairtrade will be as strong as farmer and producer voices are within Fairtrade. And that Fairtrade will be as influential, not only with policymakers, but also with businesses, with consumers, as influential producers' voices are. That's why I'm extremely happy to host this session, to dive a bit deeper into, well, yeah, we always say that Fairtrade is producer-centric, but how does it work in practice? What are the details, the experiences that show how can we strengthen those voices to strengthen the movement? That's why I'll start asking some questions to the panelists that I'm very interested to know about, and then there will, of course, be room for the audience to ask their own questions. Ms. Anjali, I'm very interested in what we have already heard about your organization, about all that you've done for sustainability. What can Vasudha farmers bring to the sustainability agenda, and what should all learn from your project?
Thank you, Jorge, and thank you, everybody, for inviting me to this panel. And as you asked me, so I would say that our company has been, working on the organic sector since we started our organic journey in 1999. So we are quite old in this journey, about 25 years. And over the 25 years, we have done a number of things for the farmers. But the most recent thing that we have started doing is mapping the socioeconomic structure of the farm people. Farming is mostly unorganized sector. So mapping those areas was never done before. And so we started doing that, with a sample of 1,000 farmers in about 50 villages, and taking different segments into account, like the tribal population, non-tribal, migrant workers, or small-holding farmers. Now, this was done by the third-party agencies like Tradecraft and Decor. The results that we found were, that some of the areas were very high risk, and needed immediate intervention. The risks were like there was some child labor found, child education. The children were not enrolled with schools. Now, the simple cause of their not being enrolled was that they did not have the social security number. Now, in India, the social security number is called Aadhaar card. Okay, so we just had to facilitate in getting their Aadhaar card done and getting them enrolled on the school. So this was a very simple solution. But what we need to do is identify the root cause of the issue whenever we find some socio-economic constraints or challenges. What happens is that everywhere we are looking at the top view, that there is a challenge. Of course, there is a challenge, but the solution is on the ground. We have to identify and map the ground realities first, identify the root cause, address the root cause, And that is how we can make the change. Similarly, we have done a code of social, code of conduct signed by all of farmers. About 20,000 farmers have signed a code of conduct, and I have a sample of that I can show you. And this has been also pasted on the walls of their houses so that they are constantly reminded of what is the code of conduct, and they have been given training. The training has been imparted to them through ILO, through Fairtrade, as well as through OCA and CII, which is another institute. Okay, so these trainings are regarding fair wages, no child labor, gender parity, all these social economic issues which need to be addressed at the ground level, so that once they are on board, then only the things can make, the social changes can happen only when the farmers are also on board with this. Similarly, migrant workers have also been trained by our team on their rights, their, what are their rights. They have also been enrolled with the government schemes that are there, because they are not aware of what all government schemes are there. They have their health insurance. There is some other schemes for the women, like Ladli Behna. There's another scheme which gives some, remunerations for the girl child. So all these schemes, because the farmers and these workers, they are not aware of the schemes. So all we need to do is enroll them with those schemes so that they can start getting the benefit and earn better income. So these are the few things that we have been doing, as well as we have also started working on a system where they can give their own complaint system. So there's a toll-free number where they can register their complaints, and it is through, again, a third-party agency called SoulScale. So they also have the rights and the power to intervene and provide them with local as well as legal assistance. So these are all the various initiatives that has been taken by us for the socio-demographic changes that we can happen. Apart from that, on the sustainability level, we have been working a lot towards organic, through various organic inputs that have been prepared across the value chain through our women. We have these women groups called SHGs. So we have about more than 300 women who are working on producing mass production of organic bio inputs. So that has been done. They have prepared more than 100,000 liters of this and made an income of more than 2.5 million Indian rupees. And this has increased their personal family income by more than 40 to 80%. So almost the same income as they were making through the farming, they are able to kind of double their income through these initiatives. And it is just not about income enhancement, it is also empowering these women. When I first met these women, they were not even comfortable sharing their names with us. They were too shy, they would not be able to say their names, and they would be under the pallu, hiding their faces. And come today, they are visiting different places. They will be, at the textile exchange. They speak very confidently, and they now ask, even the Inditex team that was there to meet them. They were asking that, okay, you guys come only to know what being done by me, but where are the orders? I need more orders. So they have become more, yeah. So these are all the various initiatives that we are doing. Thank you.
It's very touching. I have many more questions for you, but I'm going to hold them and move to the next speaker, and there will be more time later, I hope. Claudia, let's now move to Germany. Can you tell me a bit more about how do producer voices shape the work you do at Fairtrade Germany?
Good morning. No, thank you for inviting me to be here at the panel. Yes, producer voices in the Fairtrade system. That's a long story. Fairtrade is all about producers. We were founded because we wanted to change the life of producers. And we had a strong, strong discussion how we can bring these voices into life in the system and in the market. For the system, we took the decision in 2012 to not only engage producers in decisions. We wanted to put the producers at the driver's seat. That means that producers are representative of the system by 50% in each political body we have. So if we speak about the FI board, or if we speak about the committees we have, producers are present and they have 15% of voices. That's really important. And that means that we really rely on the reality on the ground. That's really amazing. And it was a big shift. It was also perhaps a little bit crazy because fair trade is also about trade. Fair trade is to find markets. Fair trade is about doing trade contracts with people only thinking about money. And with this system we have behind, perhaps we are not so smart. We are not so quick. We are not so able to adapt to changes. But producers, they can't change their reality such quickly, such businesses. If you grow whatever commodity, it needs time to grow up. And you need to secure that if you plant a coffee tree now, in 3 years' time, you can sell it. So to have that in mind, we started our promotion in Germany about fair trade with producer voices, with producers imaginers. We show a producer carrying heavy bags and we said, well, the world is bad and please change it by buying fair trade. That was the beginning in Fairtrade Germany for the first 10 years. And then we had a really, well, our market share was not visible, such easy to say. Then we hired a very smart marketing person. And she said, well, you want to sell your coffee, your tea to German consumers. And the first intention of them is to have a good cup of coffee or tea. So you can't focus only on producer side. You have to focus only on the need of the consumers. So that was the beginning when we started to bridge the imaginers from producers to consumers. So we had campaigns. You saw a producer on one side and consumers on the other side, and they handle over a cup of tea or coffee. So that was really an eye-opener for marketing, that you have to look at quality, you have to look at taste, so you can convince consumers that it's not only a social issue, it's also good for your happiness. This till today, we think in promoting fair trade at the German market, it's crucial to look at producers and to bridge them with consumers. So when we launched cotton in Germany, we had Mr. Prarakar. He left us here? Well, we had Mr. Prarakar at Germany, and we brought him to our launching event. And not only for campaigning, also when we do business, we bring producers directly to our licensees. So, for example, we have the fortnight in Germany. It's in September. It's launching tomorrow. So I'm not able to be there, but well, we are more people in Germany. And the main idea for the last 20 years was to invite producers to give them the opportunity to speak in the opening session to politicians, to the consumers, to the press. And then we are managing a trip through Germany, and we bring them into Fairtrade schools, Fairtrade towns. We let them meet our licensees so they can learn what's happened in Germany, how you package coffee or tea, or how do you manage the bananas in Germany. So what's the end of the supply chain, so that they have this really close relationship. And when we bring producers to a licensee, well, it's always a hard job to bring them there, because licensee know what we want. We want more contracts, that's clear. So it's hard to really get this meeting. But when we get this meeting, then the relation goes further. And in the last 2-3 years, what I see, what really changes now is that when we bring our customers, our licensee into the field, so that we travel with them to India or Africa, then there begins another story. Then they really understand what's the difference between fair trade and not fair trade. And so that's more or less what we try to say. We have this system with 15% participation, and it's not only participation. Against the producer voice, we can't take any decision. So it's really producer at the driver's seat. And in communication with all stakeholder group, we always say, well, it's a producer voice. And the legislation who came up lately, if it's EUDR or if it's HREDD, there are a lot of consultancy around to help out commercial partners. But when it comes to the question, what really happens on the ground, then they rely on our experience. And when I say our experience is the experience of you as NAPP, you as producer organization, because we really can bridge the gap. And last example, when COVID started, our development agency was thinking, how can we reach producers? How can we reach people at the ground now to help in this situation? And they reach out to Fairtrade because we have the direct relationship, and we had a huge program really to help with information and with sanitary things. So, and till then, well, it was a program over 40 million euros. And till then, we have more and more projects with them, because they know when we start something, we have already the structure in the field. So it's so important. So thank you.
Thanks a lot, Claudia. So, Shashtry, now that we have heard, Mr. Shashtry, now that we have heard from Claudia that end of the story, how does, when getting closer to a consumer, what's the role of producer engagement? I would like to look to the other side. So you as a representative of on NAPP board, how do we know that the voice of NAPP, of the producer network, really comes from the voices of producers? How is it that you engage with producers in NAPP to make sure that the voice you bring to a system is that of producers?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to all. NAPP is actually basically it's a democratic organization. It's a federal democratic organization. Yes, the question is there. Is being really producer voices being heard? The question is there. NAPP is having many product centric organizations. And of course, in this type of structure, the policies or the amendment of the policies were made based on the voices of the stakeholders. As I am a representative of an SPO, my SPO. I have to, which is a democratic SPO, and I have to attend every annual general meeting of that SPOs. I have to answer, I have to reply many producers or farmers question yearly in that annual general meeting. There is a much, we will face, because as a producer organization representative, and I am a farmer, I am a producer, and so I come to know first what is the challenges our producers are facing, maybe due to the new EU regulations or standards, implementing the standards. We will face several challenges there only, and we will transfer the challenges to the NAPP kind of organizations. For example, I want to say one example actually. So when in our standard, there should be no discrimination. Is there in every year annual general meeting? Our producers will ask that only some portion of the Fairtrade products are selling as Fairtrade, and some portion are not selling as Fairtrade. Don't you think that it's a discrimination that you people are doing? So I am not having the answer for these type of questions. NAPP is, of course, NAPP is our NAPP team is well, and NAPP is doing. NAPP is addressing these type of challenges and hearing these type of voices through many consultations, many trainings, and many virtual sessions, and also many projects, implementing projects, even consultations regarding the Fairtrade standards, and also mock audits wherever if necessary. NAPP is doing, NAPP is hearing. Of course, it should hear because producers are the main pillar of the NAPP. But the thing, India, you see, for example, India is a federal democratic country. We cannot expect, it's having several states, as like Germany only. We cannot expect a state policy should be the same as center, federal structure. There will be so much contradictions within the federal structure only. Then we can, of course, obviously expect there will be 100% contradiction between the new EU regulations while implementing the Indian countries. Just like I will explain one example is EU OR. There will be 2,000 farmers. It says one example. I think 1 month before we addressed that problem and we sent that problem to the Fairtrade International FlowCert team actually. So that is it says 2,000 farmers. An entity can have 2,000 farmers, but our APEDA says 500 farmers is the for 500 farmer. It should have a different individual legal entity. It says. So if any organization having 2,000 farmers or already certifying as Fairtrade 2,000 farmers, so it has to split 4 organizations separately. It is a legally very difficult thing and very challenging also. And EUDR, regarding EUDR also, EUDR, it's very simple because collecting the, these polygons, all geolocation data, and that thing is not a problem. But what exactly the meaning of the deforestation at the farm level? Our farmers are asking this question since from last year because they don't know what exactly they will call for the deforestation because that definition is not there in the EUDR regulation. So many kind of things. NAPP is in this type of situation, NAPP really struggles to address those challenges. And NAPP really think that to whom we have to send these type of challenges, because when any regulation comes, it should either respect the local law, or it should, or else local law should be in cooperation with the new EU regulation. If those things are not happening, it's a really challenging point of view in front of the NAPP. But as a producer organization, NAPP should hear the voices of the producers. That NAPP is doing, and this is the challenges in front of the NAPP. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for these concrete examples of how it should work, what's your role, but also the challenges, and congratulations for doing such a difficult job to make all of this work. Now I would like to move to see some more concrete examples from the field on how does fair trade contribute to improving the situation of farmers and to strengthening their voices? And I think that we're very fortunate to have you, Mr. Sikander, to show to us some of the examples you know about.
नमस्ते, मैं फेयर ट्रेड और अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ जिन्होंने मुझे इस मंच पर आने का मौका दिया। फेयर ट्रेड की प्रीमियर की वजह से हमारे विलेज में जितने भी फार्मर हैं वो बहुत ही अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं ऑर्गेनिक फील्ड में, और वहाँ पे बायोचार वगैरह बनाए गए हैं प्रीमियर से, और एनिमल हस्बेंड्री अवेयरनेस, हेल्थ चेकअप अवेयरनेस और सॉइल टेस्टिंग, वाटर टेस्टिंग के जरिए जब फार्मर मीटिंग की जाती है और उनको अवेयर किया जाता है कि आने वाले समय में आप किस तरह से काम कर सकते हैं।
I'm Sikander Singh, and I'm honored to be here, and I'm thankful to Fairtrade NAPP and Fairtrade India for providing such a great platform. I have closely working with the farmers, women and youth in the perspective of organizations, and we are working on the preparation of biochar, organic fertilizers, soil testing and water testing, and organizing meeting with the farmers to develop and creating their skills.
और अभी तक हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने नैप की मदद से 2000 पेड़ लगवाए हुए हैं, और वहाँ पे वूमेन्स मीन्स हर क्षेत्र में फेयर ट्रेड प्रीमियम से काम चल रहा है, और वूमेन की तरफ से सिलाई सेंटर वगैरह खोले गए हैं जिसमें से 250 के करीब वूमेन और ट्रेन किए गए हैं, और उनमें से 20 वूमेन्स को एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के रूप में काम कर रही हैं वहाँ पे।
Under the plantation drive, we had planted 2,000 fruit plants for the economic development of the farmers and also for the environmental development. And for the youth, we trained 250 women farmers on the stitching centers and different economic development activities. And out of 250, 20 women are running their own business through stitching centers and hand woven materials. And we had organized a separate meeting for the women to freely share their challenges, issues, and needs.
फेयर ट्रेड ने अच्छा इनिशिएटिव लिया है यूथ के माध्यम से। इन्होंने यूथ नॉलेज हब प्रोग्राम चलाया जिसमें ई लर्निंग कोर्स, इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग कोर्स, और पिछले मैं भी खुद पार्टिसिपेंट हूँ इसका यूथ हब नॉलेज का। तो पिछले 2 महीने पहले वहाँ पे एक पमिती लुधियाना में प्रोग्राम चलाया गया ट्रेनिंग एंड अवेयरनेस एग्रीकल्चर बिजनेस एंड अलाइन सेक्टर पर। ये बहुत ही अच्छा इनिशिएटिव है क्योंकि यूथ जो है वो एग्रीकल्चर को छोड़कर दूसरे सेक्टर में ज़्यादा जा रहा है, और फेयर ट्रेड को चाहिए कि वहाँ पे यूथ को ट्रेनिंग प्रोवाइड करे और एग्रीकल्चर के बिजनेस के तौर पर उनको प्रॉफिट और लॉस के बारे में बताया जाए। और यूथ के लिए फेयर ट्रेड ने फाइनेंशियली उनको यूथ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप स्कीम चलाए, जैसे डेयरी फार्म, बी कीपिंग, मशरूम वगैरह, जिसमें यूथ ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पार्टिसिपेट हो।
So Fairtrade had created several platforms like a Youth Knowledge Hub, and I am a part of the Youth Knowledge Hub this year, and I had taken a training on agri-business and allied sector, focusing on the different agri-businesses to align the youth with the agriculture, because we know that youth are not interested in the agriculture activities. For linking the youth to the agriculture, they have to train on the agri-business and the allied activities. They have to focus on the business development plans. They learn how to develop a business proposal, how to pitch business ideas to any donor or a fund provider. And I request Fairtrade NAPP to create or develop such kind of projects for a long term. And for engaging youth, we have to focus on the entrepreneurship development, so they will have access to be a part of the agriculture system.
फेयर ट्रेड का मैं शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि वहाँ पे हमारे आफ्टर स्कूलिंग टाइम के बाद बच्चे जो है ट्यूशन प्रोवाइड नहीं कर सकते थे, उनके लिए फेयर ट्रेड प्रीमियम से वो लिपो स्कूल सेंटर चलाए जा रहे हैं, जहाँ पे 300 से ज़्यादा बच्चे वहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हैं, और चाइल्ड लेबर के ऊपर भी बहुत सर्वे कर रहे हैं, रिस्क असेसमेंट इसके ऊपर. थैंक यू फेयर ट्रेड.
आई एम थैंकिंग टू Fairtrade फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग अ premium to develop a school where the 300 plus children are enrolled and getting the basic educations through the premium projects, and we are also working on the prevention on the child labor at the field. Thank you, Fairtrade.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Sikander. We've learned now all that can be done with the right empowerment and the right support by producers. But this brings me to the other side of the question. What are the obstacles for this to happen? And perhaps Prasanna, who I know very well, I know that could answer that question.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Obstacles, if you see it as obstacles, if you see it as a challenge, we can overcome it. But how? It only time and consultation and dialogue will tell us. Basically, Indian agriculture is agro-forestry based agriculture. So whatever the EU regulations and deforestation talks, is already there. But how to link the regulation and the production method and demonstrate it at the buyers level at Europe is a challenge that we are facing. As part of the production concern, India, the producers are doing that with a very effective manner, and very long time back, they adopted the sustainable systems. Only in the 70s with the green revolution, we have deviated, but we are coming back. The main challenge that I think from the producer side is that the lack of awareness. I will give you examples that we faced recently when we are taking the geo locations and other informations related to EU regulation. Producer asking why you want these details. With this, to whom you are revealing our secrets. Even though it's a true fact from the producer side, but for the regulation and the marketing and transferring the benefit to the producer, it's required for the other side. And the second thing is that now initially we thought that only geolocations and other small informations will do, but there are other dimensions. A lot of documentation is required to make it to prove it the traceability documents. Who is taking responsibility of creating those documents? And some of them may be prepared at the farm level. Right now, the farmers are not having that much of knowledge why and what and how it should be documented. And secondly, we have no tools to transform those data into the information, small form of information, and handing it over to the buyers who are sitting across the world. And there are some ambiguities that we are seeing in the regulation itself. See, if you strictly follow those regulations, there are chances of hitting the productivity and also the income side to the producer. How we can compensate or come over these challenges in the ambiguity of the regulations is also one more big challenge that we are facing. And the most important thing is mobilizing the resources. It is not that simple that we can overnight we can create these documents and we can supply it to our buyer for their satisfaction. Lot of background efforts and preparations has to be needed manually as well as through technology. How and who provides it? That's the biggest challenge that means. Producers, they have a lot of problem from their side, starting from the family, income, and labor, and quality maintenance, and productivity. They are not bothered about moving the resources or providing any more effort to make this happening. Then organizations, they have their own limitations regarding this matter. The government agencies and other providers are very reluctant whether they will get profit or they will have any benefit from out of this. So it should be a combined effort. That who will initiate that effort is a big question mark. Right now we are facing from the producer side. Yeah. These are all the, I think there are a lot more issues, but I am pointing out very few of them that is really bothering at the present situation. Yeah. We have facing from the producer side. And the most important thing that how to raise the voice and you should reach the other side. And who will initiate this one?
Thanks so much, Prasanna.
Yeah.
When Claudia was explaining, she mentioned that 50% of voice is given to the producers. But in an Indian context, when we see, I'm curious to know what would be the education level of the people over there in Germany versus the education level of producers over here. Because just like the way Prasanna sir mentioned, the producers will be more bothered about their immediate needs and concerns. But at a fair trade level, we might be taking a bird's eye view and to bring in the larger connect, right? So if we are going to give a lot of voice to them, they are going to speak only about those issues that is of immediate concern, not on a large scale level. So how do we take it? So one level, it is like the education level. Is there any difference? Second level, if you are going to empower them, will we be able to achieve our objective?
Thanks a lot. Before you answer, let's take another question and that way we wrap them.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Morning. I have a question. See, we are talking about producers, but in this whole context of agriculture, the workers are invisible, the farm workers. So what is our plan to bring workers? Because it's a major worry that we have. We have been discussing quite often, even within the circles. Where are workers in this whole context of fair trade or organic? Do we have some ideas about it? What do you feel as producers? They're becoming invisible completely.
No. Well, I'm not able to decide who is the representative of India or Ghana or Latin America. It's not possible because in each region you have so different realities. And that's the reason why we have NAPP, because they are people from here and they can decide how they assure that the producer voices is really the voice that NAPP represents in our system. And I see a good mixture between, well, farmer voices and the bird side. Well, it's not perfect, but the things that we have regional producer networks, I guess what I've seen in the world, it's one of the best options that each region decides by themselves and then send the people to the international system.
Thanks a lot. Would anyone like to add anything on this or the other question?
Not really. Can you explain it much in an elaborated way? Because The workers, are you asking about workers' representation or workers' voices?
Workers, what is NAPP? Sorry? Workers' concerns. Correct.
Yes. See, are you asking in SPO level or NAPP level? Fairtrade, okay. So in SPO level, there is in many organizations, there is a workers' organization is there. I am talking you technically. I will talk to you afterwards in reality. But technically, there is a workers' organization is there. And in NAPP also, workers' representation is there. So representation, if you are talking in terms of representation manner, there will be a representation, 100% for workers at SPO level also and NAPP level also. And in terms of standards, the challenges of the standards, which is both same, I'm same for the workers also, producers also, that is being heard at the SPO level also and NAPP level also. But in reality, of course, we are facing those challenges that workers are not well educated, and sometimes communication problems also. Sometimes, even though the chance will be given, they can't explain it real problems because of some communication problems at their education level. So this is, we can observing this problem not only in the NAPP level, we can observing in the various level of government sectors also, in state government also, central government also, in other so many NGOs level also. They are trying to improve their betterment by hearing the voices since from many years. But really it's happening, it's a different question. That will take another 2-day or 1-day session. But this representation and giving them opportunities, creating the platform is there.
I really don't want to leave the other ones without talking, but really in one sentence, if you have one last thing for the audience, please.
As I don't know your name, ma'am, but as you rightly said, that whatever policies and directives are being made, they should all be made in taking into consideration the local challenges. And instead of having only a top view, they should also be considering the local scenario. They should have a 4-pronged theory. That means the local government, the implementation partners, the agencies such as Fairtrade, which can be the verifiers, and institutions like EU and other brands. So once we are all aligned together, then only the real change can happen. Otherwise, it will only be on paper. That's what I think.
Trying the reverse funnel attempts. It should be the otherwise. Every problem should be addressed from bottom to the top. Right now, whatever we are doing is approaching from top to bottom. That is the main issue and the problem and concern for everybody. That is a word. And second, my sincere question and request to Jorge, as you promised during our last March meeting, can you able to bring one delegation from Europe to India? And we can have the dialogue at multi-level stakeholders, from the producers, the operators, the government agencies. It's an individual as well as the collective meetings and dialogues, so that before EU-India trade agreement, we can have some solution for this, at least some solutions for this problem that we are facing at the present, and that will be more helpful for everybody assembling in the room.
Quite a task.
Yeah, I know it's quite a task, but if Brussels tries, nothing will impossible.
I'm sorry, say one last sentence from me. That is, I suggested that all these panelists, since from yesterday, make a WhatsApp group of them, or else a mail group, and it should be connected to the NAPP team, and also even our standard committee member Arunji is there. So include this type of important member in that group, and we can create a WhatsApp group or mail group. It should be connected in NAPP, in touch with NAPP, so that this type of conferences should be evergreen. I mean, if any problem or any arises, so that they can put there, and NAPP also can think about where it should reach and what may be the solution like that. So it's my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cornesa, so much. And thank you to all our speakers for such rich and insightful discussions and very strong suggestions. Thank you so much. A big thank you to all our audience for your active participation and being here with us. As a token of gratitude to all the speakers, may I now invite Mr. Prabhakar Meher on stage, his chairman, Fairtrade NAPP, to kindly come forward and present the mementos to the speakers. Ms. Anjali Mittal. Mr. Sikander Singh. Mr. Prasanna. And our moderator, Mr. Cornesa.